Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Sinking City. Now, last episode we were on our way to find George Cavendish, professor at the university whom we suspect of poisoning the EOD's fish supply. But on the way to City Hall to look up his address, I thought we'd stop by and grab a couple of letters from Oakmont's locations. We're at one of them now, so I'll read the letter to you. After this vision, I shake in fear at the sound of a child's cry. It happened in Western Reed Heights on Washington Street. I passed Avon Street and was heading towards Oak Street, but I saw it. The thing was running so fast I didn't even understand what it was. It jumped from the window, and the vision struck me immediately. I saw a man, a doctor, hiding in the room. He was writing something with shaking hands, something like a last will. And then I saw the thing stalking him. Fetus on thin pointy legs with a little face full of evil and hatred. It's shrieking. I can't forget it. And this is the only open door in the area, so I'm assuming this is it. This looks like it used to be a hospital. Locked. That doesn't look good. Yeah, just follow the creepy trail of bloody handprints, I guess. Music's picking up. That's not a good sign. If I were a rational man, I'd run away. I'd run. This is the part where I'd run for my life. But I wouldn't be in Oakmont if I were a rational man, wouldn't I? Can't tell what those are. Ew, what's this? My dearest comfort, if my scrawl is an illegible scribble, forgive me. The shock of what I have delivered from the poor young woman's womb has affected my nerves. Her guttural screams still ring in my ears, and her birth tragedy lurks near where I hide. Had my attendant not been attacked first, I would have certainly shared her fate. The wriggling abomination and that erupted from the waist belly leapt from her body and attached itself to the nurse's throat with a wet smacking sound. Pulled behind it, the top umbilical cord tore out the placenta in an eruption of bright blood that soaked my gown. Stunned, I looked into the mother's bulging eyes as she convulsed and bit off her tongue in between clenched, grinding teeth. Falling backward in horror, I crawled behind a medical cabinet in the operating theater. I can now hear the sloshing movement of the afterbirth sliding across the floor as the terrible infant silently approaches. Well, that's a bit of a contradiction right there. I write this account on my surgical mask with the sturdy pen you gifted me last year near the Oakmont Commons. May it now serve faithfully as my only weapon against the deformed babe. Sincere thanks, Sebastian. And looks like it didn't do you much good there, Sebastian. Real great how he had enough time to write that whole spiel out. Couldn't have kept it simpler, like, oh my god, this woman I was helping delivered this awful monster thing that killed my assistant, and then now it's coming after me. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I mean, who thinks to write of these things when they're about to die? Honestly. Now there's an awful murderous monster baby on the loose somewhere. That's just great. Let's skedaddle before we have to meet it. Alright. Now that we had that fun diversion, there's another one over here that I want to pick up. I can't help but turn around at any noise after what I saw yesterday. I walked down the Murdoch Avenue in Western Advent. Near Oak Street, I was hit with an excruciating migraine. My nose started to bleed and the visions came. I saw one man writing a letter and another about to strike him from behind. Somehow I was both the spectator and the sitting man, but no matter how I cried out warnings to try to move, it didn't work. It seems I lost consciousness when the killer hit the man's head, and it took me several hours to get back to the hotel after. Quick boat ride. Just right on the path now towards City Hall, which is where we needed to go originally anyway. Oop, I'm going the wrong way. I'm sorry, I have a terrible sense of navigation. In real life and in video games. And he's still alive. Yeah, real compassionate of you, officer. Oh, that's a comforting sign to see. Bricks. I'll drink to that, my friend. Drink to the health of the Yellow King. Here it is. Why is there a doll baby and a cross? You know what, I don't want to know. Med kit right at the door. Not a good sign. Lots of heavy loot in that door. Definitely not a good sign. Who is lighting these fires? Plus side, when I finally get at the Tommy gun and the shotgun, I'll have plenty of ammo for them. My dear Clara, it's been years since we last saw each other, and I still can't sleep without looking at the picture you sent me of your family. I wish I had something to show, but pictures of this place would only bring you nightmares. What was I thinking when I left our hometown? I feared that I might be losing my sanity. You remember Dumont, my neighbor that works at the docks? I I mentioned him in previous letters. He was always a good friend, but I don't know what happened. He started screaming in the middle of the night, chanting about lost cities and saying strange words. I was never a religious man, but I don't know how to explain his condition through science. I see strange things each time I look out the window, and I don't know if they are really there or if it's just my mind playing with the mist. Somehow the mad words of my friends start to make more sense each time I look at those wild and incomprehensible shapes. I'll return home as soon as I have enough money to do so. I hope you survive all this. Your beloved brother, Victor. I have a feeling that Victor is not among the living anymore. And I further have a feeling that I should leave before I encounter something nasty. Shit. I'm not on here to XP hunt. I just wanted to get that letter and skedaddle. Okay. They usually don't chase you. They usually don't chase you out of their houses. Alright. Let's get back on the main story quest line and head for City Hall. I wonder who that is. The great old one said, "The world is indeed comic, but the joke is on mankind." Oh, it's H.P. Lovecraft. And there's a statue honoring him in front of City Hall. It's real comforting. Okay, not that door. Not that one either. One of these doors has got to be the right one.
Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print.
How about all the news that's not fit to print? Here we are.
Yes, I haven't got all day. What do you want?
Just wanted to say hi. I'm new in town.
Oh, how nice for you. If you need to look anything up in our archives, get in line like everybody else.
Get in line? I'm the only one here. Well, I guess that means I'm first then. So, I can just go look up what I need.
Don't sass me, young man. Next time there could be a line here, and you'll get no special treatment.
Bye.
I see she was hired for her customer service skills. There we are. Subjects. Citizens. Registry. Citizen records. Advent. Here we are. George Walter Cavendish, date of birth January 26, 1883, Oakmont, Mass. Advent Central, St. Michael's Road between Carpenter Street and Constitution Street, Flat 2, Professor of Biology, Department of Medicine, Oakmont University, divorced. Always looking stuff up was this easy in real life. Oh goodness, fast travels. That's a great in joke with Frogware's development. As you may know, they've been developing the Stockholm point-and-click adventure games for many years. So, in some of the earlier games, naturally Watson would follow you around. They didn't really have the AI to have him walk and follow you, so he would follow you by teleporting, which led to some unintentional creepiness, as sometimes you'd turn around and he'd be right behind you, or you'd enter a room and he'd already be there. So, this is just a fun little poke. Frogwares at themselves. Anyway. Let's see. Advent Central, St. Michael's Road. Between Carpenter and... Whoops. Somewhere between Carpenter and Constitution Street. Over here. Actually, I wonder if there's any other signposts I can make up nearby. Oh, look, there's one. The book in the bank. Talking with locals is never easy, but this old chap was one of the queerest yet. He was happy to talk about the book, but only laughed when I proposed to buy it. I left it in the most guarded place of the city and paid enough to keep it there until the world ends. And if it is abandoned after the flood, even better. Ignorance is the best guardian. I'm guessing he meant the abandoned bank building in Northern Advent on Forefather Street between Helog and Windhalf. Alas, it would be too dangerous to go there by myself. So guess who's the lucky sap who gets to go there by himself? Yeah, I should be looking at it. Whoops. Typical. You know, this really doesn't seem like anything that's gonna stop beasties. That'll be my way in. Some of those pukers nearby. Yep, it's one of those all. Hold still, you little shit. Yeah. So much for the sneaky approach. No, that wasn't another one. That was just the last one dissolving. There it is. Comorium. The manuscript is written in symbols barely recognizable as a script. Its pages number in the hundreds. Splitting the book in two is a single engraving upon a thin sheet of metal. A deserted city square surrounded by tall pillars, and in the middle, a hideous, crooked monstrosity squats as he devours a screaming victim. The image is atrocious, but has some weird magnetism, and if one looks upon it for some time, the weak voice in his head says, "Beware the vile offspring of Kenigathin Zom." What's this? More bullets is nice. There. Got some more gunpowder shell casings. And we got, oh, 2 knowledge points. Let's see here. We'll get this for faster XP. Then we'll get smart packing to increase how much material we can craft. I always like to go for stuff that makes you then increases XP faster. Just makes it easier. Let's get out of here. Alright. Safer now. Let's see if there's anything else I can pick up on the way to this place. Nope. Alright. Let's not press our luck anymore. Time to go. That massive shadow on the sky does not look good. I know it's just a church up there, but still. Foreboding, I think, isn't it? Drugs. Wonderful.
Best stuff in Oakmont. All on sale. Today only.
That's what he says every day. Let's see. It should be around here somewhere. Yep, here we are.
The door won't budge.
Yeah. We're interested in flat 2 anyway. If you want it, take it. It's free. Bonk.
The door won't budge.
And it buds now.
And judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around?
Hey, I saw that painting earlier. Yeah. As I mentioned in an earlier video, you're going to see pretty much the same layout copied over and over again. Which is forgivable, but still. The professor's fact list. Westerbrook usually has his lunch about 2:30. Get some soap. Anna always stays at the fish market. She shouldn't learn about me. New hauls of fish arrive every 2 days. An ounce per box will be enough. The guard spends most of his time on the 2nd floor during the night. Think about a way to divert suspicions from Westerbrook. Don't want him to come to any harm. Don't forget to return the flask to storage. Think about plan B. Should have thought harder. Did there really need to be a scare courtyard right then? Almost jumped out of my skin.
This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD is in the center of all of it.
Hold on. I've seen similar pictures to that, and only it showed the deep ones coming out of the water. Going, gone. Body count rises as vanishings continue across Oakmont. Locals are in a panic, with most of the reported disappearances occurring in the Shells, Salvation Harbor, and Grimhaven Bay. Captain Caleb Lyons of the Oakmont Police has put out a call for information. Our evidence suggests a link between these disappearances and the charity organization EOD that has recently risen to prominence among the city's poor, said Lyons. Most of the victims seem to have either joined this group or been recipient of their alms. We encourage anyone with information to come forward. Chronicle reminds readers to avoid any suspicious newcomers, especially Innsmouthers, and to remain at home during evening hours. Stay alert. Disturbance in the Shells as fighting breaks out between locals and Innsmouthers. The cause of the conflict appeared to be the disappearance of several women, with locals accusing a group of Innsmouthers of the crime. Oakmont police continue to investigate the vanishings, but as yet the case remains unsolved. One source from the Shells reports that traces of fish scales and seaweed were found in multiple victims' homes, which seem to have precipitated the fight. I mean, that's hardly evidence. As I know they... Okay, fine, it's kind of evidence. Bonk.
The door won't budge.
What's this?
I loved you. I always loved you.
You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George! George? I can't live like this anymore. There's something I have to tell you.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna! I thought the child was mine! Mine!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
George? I can't live like...
I don't care what your damn EOD...
You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George!
George Cavendish. He had a wife named Anna. She had a baby that was not his, but blessed by the sea and claimed by the EOD. This caused their split.
That was a weird statement. Oh no. This is a really bad time to pass out, Charles. Charles,
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Calm down. The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator.
Right now, you look like someone who's breaking into my house. A burglar. Explain yourself.
No, Cavendish. Time for you to do some explaining. Care to tell me why you poisoned the fish at the EOD warehouse? And you better not lie to me. Oh, sorry. Is this making you angry? Yeah, two can play at that game, and believe me, I've got plenty of anger for the both of us.
How dare you?
I'm only going to ask politely once. Then my gun will do the talking.
Fine. Yes, it was me. But I had a good reason to do it. It all comes back to Anna.
What's Anna got to do with all this?
As you might have already gleaned, she was my wife.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it all starts to come together now.
The EOD robbed me of her. It all started with the free fish. We were all short on food at the time, and then they hooked her with their nonsense about the benevolent sea and greater good. I looked past it for some time, but then...
She became pregnant.
Yes. At first, I was over the moon. But then one day she came to me, that snake, and told me that the child was not mine. She said it was blessed by the sea, that it was demanded by the EOD. Doomed take them! I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't.
Oh, this should be fun. What's your good reason for poisoning innocent people? You know the EOD are feeding the hungry, don't you?
No, that's exactly the problem. They're not doing it out of charity. They do it to spread their influence and recruit new members. Some of those initiates, as they call them, vanish without a trace. And not just them, they kidnap ordinary folks too.
And poisoning the fish would prevent this. How?
Oh, you see, not everyone in this city believes in the EOD yet. They have opposition among the citizens, both rich and poor. A rumor of the EOD's fish being poisonous and several incidents would be enough to undermine the EOD by sparking fear and mistrust.
There must be another way to deal with the EOD. Like, if their crimes are that obvious, why don't you just go to the police?
They're resourceful, those sons of hagfish. They maintain a squeaky clean image, and they're good at it. I tried going to the police. They were no help at all. And I'm not suicidal enough to make it public and take them to court.
What did she mean? Blessed by the sea.
What do you think is the cause of Innsmouth syndrome in people?
Living in Innsmouth?
That K-forsaken place has nothing to do with it. It comes from breeding with monsters. These sea creatures they call Deep Ones. They take our women and they spoil them with their seed. Then they give birth to degenerate fish-faced offspring.
Hey, now, that's not fair. They take the men, too.
Where did you learn all of this? This information about the EOD?
After Anna left, I had nothing. But I did have a lot of time to research Innsmouthers, the EOD, and the story behind them. It is an old and powerful organization. They appeared back in the mid-19th century in Innsmouth, and the first people with the Innsmouth syndrome started showing up around that same time.
Perhaps not coincidentally.
No, of course not. And the EOD is immensely rich. The sudden rise to power of the Blackwood family happened right after they joined them.
So what's your next move?
I was interrupted and couldn't finish my task. The EOD received a fresh haul of fish, but now they're on alert and raised their guard. I understand I'm in no position to ask. But after reviewing all the facts I've presented to you, Mr. Reed, would you agree to help me?
You're a madman, Cavendish. You're willing to let innocent people suffer and die just to get revenge on your ex-wife. No, this madness has to stop. And I'm gonna put an end to it right now.
Oh, no. You don't understand. Ah!
Hold on a second. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Stop swinging at me, George. I need to do some thinking. Don't make me do this. Jeez, one in the shoulder, and down it goes.
A lot of fancy dresses locked away in a dark corner for a long time. I'm starting to smell some deep family trauma here.
There. I realize it's a bit late now, but... Look, neither of these options are great. It's pretty clear that the EOD is really the esoteric order of Dagon and they don't have good motivations. But that doesn't change the fact that there are people here that need that charity. And from where I stand, the moment you start to hurt innocent people, you've lost the argument. George may have reasons behind poisoning the fish and making the EOD look bad, but that doesn't change the fact that it's born out of personal revengeance and that he was going to murder innocent people for it. In my view, that makes him puts him in the wrong here. Doesn't mean I have to like what it did. Alright. Back to the fish market. I think there's a phone booth around here somewhere. Pretty sure I saw a phone booth around here somewhere. There it is. See it on the compass?
Please help a fella out. I'll take anything.
Make things easier.
Yours is your choice. Choose wisely.
Don't be shy. Leave enough for everyone. Fish? Fresh fish? Take as much as you need. It won't cost you a penny.
Here's the former Mrs. Cavendish.
Fish? Fresh fish?
I found the poisoner and dealt with him. He won't be bothering you anymore.
See, bless you, Charlie. That's great news. Who was it?
Well, see, now that's the interesting part. It was your ex-husband, George Cavendish.
Oh. Well, that son of a rotten shark finally got what was coming to him. Good riddance. Still, it's strange. I never thought he'd have the guts to do something like this. He was always a pushover.
You're taking this remarkably well for a woman who just found out her ex-husband was a poisoner.
He's nobody to me. The EOD is my family now. We serve a higher purpose than he could ever grasp. My life finally has meaning. You've done us both a huge favor by relieving him of the burden of his miserable existence. Well done, Charlie.
Well, why doesn't that feel like a congratulations?
All right. No more messing around. Get me in touch with your Grand Poobah or whoever's in charge, now.
Easy there, Charlie. I'm a woman of my word. Go to the basement of the fish market. It's nearby. You'll find an innsmouther there by the name of Maurice. Tell him I've sent you. You'll get your answers.
About time.
Do you want a fishy?
No thanks. Basement of the fish market is nearby. Yeah, it should be. We're in the fish market. If I could find the door, that'd be great. Always bothers me when that comes up. Nope. Don't worry, I'll find it eventually. I'll be back once I found the basement. Some detective I am missed this blatantly open hatch right here. I apologize for all the running around. So since I got that first aid kit, might as well top up. Kill him, A. That was unexpected, actually. Alright. Someone want to explain to me why the basement of a charitable organization has shackles on the walls, skulls, and a sacrificial table?
Hey, Mr. Reed.
Do I know you, buddy?
Not yet, but I know you. I also know you're looking for a particular lady. My name's Fred. You're looking for Professor Doe, ain't that right? The scientist the Order kidnapped. I think we can help each other.
How do you mean? You know where she is?
Slow down, buddy. Helping each other is not the same as let me just tell you everything.
What is this order you mentioned?
Yeah. You don't know, do you? EOD. It really stands for the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Dagon?
An old being from the depths of the sea. In books, they show him as a monstrous amphibian. The Innsmouthers worship him as a god. And of course, they make sacrifices to him. In blood.
Yeah, I noticed. Interesting note. In H.P. Lovecraft's time, Dagon was allegedly the Canaanite god of the sea, but in modern times now we know he was actually a god of agriculture. Another example of science, or perhaps society, marching on.
Well, it's not like I have options. I gotta find the scientist. Now, what's the price?
Believe me, I'll be glad to help you find her. But I need a little help first.
Yeah, I figured.
You've seen some of the city now, am I right? You've in England what's coming? I want out of the Order and the city before it hits. Trouble is, it's much easier to get into the Order than to leave. Give the slightest hint of it. You've signed your death warrant. I need somebody to get me out of the city on the quiet. And that's not an easy thing these days, my friend.
I've no idea how to help you with that.
Ain't you a detective? There are people in the city, smugglers, who know what to do. Find them. That's how you can help. See, I've heard whispers about ads in the newspaper. A new ad every week, talking about Salvation Harbor. Maybe start there.
Smugglers, huh? Well, sounds worth a shot. Sure, I'm up for it.
Oh, thank you. I know where if they got her. You fix things for me, I can get you in. For sure. But hurry.
Alright, where'd Anna go? I'm gonna work that little... Yep, of course she's gone.
You won't find a better house at that price.
I'm sure I won't.
This used to be an okay place to live.
Okay. Where'd they get that photograph anyway? Now I'm kind of regretting not helping. And not helping George. Okay. It's time to head back to Mr. Throgmorton. And as it happens, I've got two things I need to talk to him about. Sorry, I think I turned around. Where am I going? Told you I have no sense of direction. It'd be kind of hard to miss the big house with the ape lanterns out in front. He had a cake made of his dead son. Oh, gross. You're just eating it with your hands? There's utensils here. Use them. Right.
I know who's behind Professor Doe's kidnapping. It's an organization called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Most of them stick to the fish market, but they seem to have agents everywhere. Even the university.
I knew there was something fishy about the EOD, the den of those filthy Innsmouthers. I'll tear it to the ground.
Actually, most of the EOD members I met were locals. And for what it's worth, the only Innsmouther I spoke to was a nice guy. You ought to examine your prejudices.
Are you calling me a bigot, Reed?
Yes.
Well, that's how you're acting. The Innsmouthers didn't want to end up here, and they didn't do it to spite you. Your hatred leaves them no choice but to retaliate. Can't you see the vicious cycle here?
They killed my son, for Kay's sake!
One man, not all of them. If you keep tarring every Innsmouther with the same brush, you'll radicalize them. And then all this will happen again. The only reason the EOD gained power here is because Innsmouthers had nowhere else to turn. You have to stop being part of the problem.
I shall try to think about what you have said.
Well, I'm glad he's being the big man about this. A lot of people wouldn't have taken that very well.
Back to business. I'll continue my search for Professor Doe. I have a promising lead. You have anything else to tell me?
Your task remains the same. Find Harriet and bring her back. You say we are dealing with an entire organization? Well, I have something for you that might help our cause should things take a turn. Now leave. I've heard enough from you.
Shotgun.
I've looked into your delicate matter.
Excellent. Don't spare me any details.
Glover's
you
dead.
said you were sick of me.
He was killed by a man named Sidney Stokes, who happened to be robbing his place. And he wasn't working alone. He had a partner, Phil O'Connell. Didn't end up much better. All over some kind of mirror, apparently.
Truck. Where is the mirror now?
Their employer has it. Some mystery woman. I didn't get her name, but she obviously wasn't fooling around.
I see. So, my enigmatic competitor has finally shown her hand. And the thieves are both dead, you say?
Their employer decided to bump them off. Now, I hope that's not standard business practice in these parts.
You've proven to be far more valuable to me alive than dead, Mr. Reed. You have nothing to worry about in that regard.
At least until I stop being valuable. Oh, is that right?
It wouldn't have killed you to let me know you were going after the mirror from the start.
As I said, this is a very delicate matter. I wasn't confident I could trust you with such sensitive information until now.
All right. I've held up my end of the bargain. Now, it's your turn.
Of course, Mr. Reed. Here's your payment. Now that you know everything, would you accept the second part of the job?
Let me guess. You want me to track down the mirror?
Yes, and the one who so rudely snatched it from my grasp.
I'm on it. Only got one lead, though. Our culprit had a bone to pick with someone named Francis. Mean anything to you?
Ah, yes. That is without doubt my father, Francis Throgmorton. May rest his soul.
What's he got to do with this?
I found mention of the mirror in his records. That's what led me to take interest.
Your father was a prominent man. I'm sure he had enemies. Anyone come to mind?
None who would outlive him.
You mentioned your father left records. Mind if I take a gander at them?
The prospect of you rifling through my father's possessions does not fill me with joy, Mr. Reed. But if that's what you need, so be it. Take this key.
Now, let's go snoop around in... Let's go snoop around in Mr. Throgmorton's study. Ritzy place. Now let's see if we can get to the bottom of the mysteries regarding Mr. Throgmorton.
Curious craftsmanship. These must be worth a fortune.
South American, I believe.
Seems an ambitious expedition. Like father, like son.
In Africa. Some of these are African, but the shield on the right looks more like South American to me. Of course, I'm not an archaeologist or an anthropologist, so I
I'm looking sharp, but I guess that's the point.
But
1891 must have been a busy year for Francis.
And thus the mystery of the Throgmorton history is solved. Francis Throgmorton's expedition to Africa has proven to be one of the most ambitious, if sadly unappreciated, undertakings of 1891. He has returned with numerous historical artifacts, invaluable anthropological research, a newborn son, christened Robert, and a plethora of fascinating cultural insights. Today, in an exclusive interview with the Oakland Chronicle, he's agreed to share some of those insights with us. Here we go.
Now, that kid looks a little familiar.
December 12, 1894. Francis, divorce is no simple matter these days. It never has been in my legal practice. You must clearly define the fault you shall present to the courts, the most common options being cruelty, adultery, or an incurable mental illness. It is my impression that your firstborn son's death, tender age of 7, dealt a blow to Bethany's health. I do sincerely hope she recovers, but the court won't share my concerns. Besides, Oakmont Asylum seems to be a very well-run place. Guards, Chauncey. Apology for the noise. That's my cell phone telling me I'll get a text. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. Oakmont Asylum. Guess I need to go there if I want more answers. And it's right over there. And there's gotta be something I missed. I really should silence that phone. There. Guess he wanted a little piece of home in his bedroom.
had some questions about Bethany.
I beg your pardon? I don't believe I know anyone of that name.
Well, it came up during the investigation. See, your father divorced, and his ex-wife's name was Bethany.
Say no more. It is beyond my earliest memories, but even if it weren't, my father's business is his own. I shall not engage in gossip.
Your father led an expedition back in 1891. Do you know anything about it?
I'm not the best person to ask, I'm afraid. I was a babe in arms back then, and my father never made his findings public. It is a great shame, of course. His work would have turned the science of evolution on its head.
Yeah, I can see that. Have a good day.
He says after mourning his son. Anyway, let me see. Well, to go in this case, it'd have to go in the asylum, which is not that far away from here. The main story is an ad in Salvation Harbor, which means we'd have to head back to the newspaper station over here. Salvation Harbor is down this way. I think since the asylum is closer, I think I'm going to grab that one first. In the meantime, let's see if there's any side cases nearby that I can grab. Let's see. Yeah. Tell you what. I'm gonna swing by over here to grab the wheel tone. I'll be back once I get to where I need to go. Alright, I'm back. We are in the ruins of what appears to be Oakland Park in search of another tone. Here we are. I had a dream so real it still makes my hand shake. A huge Ferris wheel rose amidst the city. People got on and rode it higher and higher before jumping off at its peak. As the pile of corpses grew bigger, the crowd pushed me to the wheel, and then I saw a man with a leather bag. He was standing in the center of the wheel and reading from a book. This awful dirge was making the wheel rotate and dragging the crowd to their slaughter. Could this vision be real? I know there was a Ferris wheel at the park in Western Old Grove near Century Ave and Beacon Street, but where could the book be? Well, the wheel itself seems as good a place to try as any. Random skull and arm. Sprach Eklikin Kultur. The book is bound in heavy leather with iron hasps. It is a fairly decent translation, which makes the knowledge it reveals all the more nauseating. If one wants to use the ritual of 7 desecrated graves brought by horrible Ichabod, rising the 6 serving undead, you will need to create a wand from oak or maple. The carvings on it should be made with an iron knife soaked in the blood of a fallen woman and the sperm of a sorcerer. Ew. While placing the signs, want to chant the following: Fein Eho Azarak So Nar Zomalak Ole 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 Barabbas Ole Ole Hoshitas, while holding the wand to the north. Oh, gee, big guy. Still after me? Okay, I think it's gone. That was fun. So, How about we head to the asylum and learn more about Robert's stepmother. I'll be back once I've gotten there. Well, here we are. Oakmont Asylum. Looks like a lovely place to stay. I'm sure the staff here is thoroughly concerned about their patients' well-being.
I'm looking for Bethany Throgmorton. You got any patients by that name?
We'd know if we had a Throgmorton. Although, we do have a Bethany. Or rather, we did. She's missing, and not on one of her usual walks.
Her usual walks? You let patients leave the building?
Oh, Bethany was harmless, and she always came back. This time, well, I've never known her to be like that.
You mean she broke out?
Yes, knocked an orderly out cold. She was out the door in a moment. It took us all by surprise. She's usually harmless.
There's an unusual number of people here who have that shade of yellow eyes, and it bothers me.
Any idea where she went?
No. She had been odd recently, though. Muttering to herself, and she drew this strange picture on her bedroom wall.
That's interesting. Can I take a look at her room?
I suppose it couldn't hurt. She had a separate room downstairs. Here's the key, but do watch out for broken glass.
Bye.
At the mountains of truth, you can never climb in vain. Yeah, but note what truth has been replaced by. Another cute little reference.
Haven't you seen the beast?
I've seen a lot of beasts. You're gonna have to be more specific.
Do you see it?
Apparently they just let random people wander around the asylum. Poke and just... This is what I think it is. Someone had an indecent poster in the locker. Remind me of old Snake shenanigans. Damon is the guy. Snake. As in Solid Snake, perhaps? Did the snake have a habit of sneaking around in a cardboard box?
The blood's almost dry.
Hyoscine, morphine, and cactoid complement.
There's enough dope left in here to knock out a horse. At 7 years each, that's a lot of bad luck. I'm glad it's not mine.
What kind of asylum would allow a patient to have this much stuff?
Someone had a field day defacing these. Huh. Was this taken at gunpoint?
Hang on.
I will find it, baby boy. I promise. Just tell me more.
Get us a minute for the screen to stop going wobbly. All I do for my dear Hammond. I cannot forget that. Shame on me for thinking that the reprobate Squint had more common sense than greed in it. He got the mirror, and I do not care how he did it, but when the time came for the exchange, he wanted more. So much more he had the gall to threaten me, said he'd find a new buyer. What's done is done. No one has the right to come between a mother and her child. Young Hammond Throgmorton, Francis Throgmorton's firstborn, has been pronounced dead. Mortally injured in a mysterious accident during a family holiday, little Hammond could not be revived despite his doctor's best efforts. The funeral will be held later this week, with only family and close friends attending. In this dark and tragic hour, we are trying to remain grateful for all we have, including baby Robert, shared Francis Throgmorton. As my sole remaining heir, I will do all I can to protect him.
Stop right there.
You no longer have any power over me. I have found my Hammond. He's shown me the way. Randall Glassworks in Salvation Harbor. I can't believe it. The answers have been there since last century.
Time to piece this one together.
Randall Glassworks. You no longer have any...
Stop right there.
Bethany escaped the asylum after getting the mirror from Glover. Next stop looks to be a factory called Randall Glassworks.
I missed something, though. They just didn't bother cleaning up the mess. The reason I'm looking so hard is because, well, because you don't get the XP unless you find all of the evidence in the investigation scene.
Watch your pocket. Some patients here have wandering fingers.
Right. In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. A secret order, you say?
My head! I still hear those voices.
Water me. Don't just stare at my leaves.
Oh. Thinks he's a plant.
The end is nigh. It will begin again. What is down comes up. The seed is sowed.
There's more sense there than you might think.
Can you hear? Somebody singing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can you hear it?
Let's play.
Why not? I mean, I'd like to. Eventually you'll end up where you are meant to be and will be doing what you are supposed to do. They said showing a soldier standing in the midst of a World War I trench surrounded by death and gore. That's not very encouraging. I am not what has happened to me, I am what I choose to become. I think that's supposed to be encouraging, but the clown mask is terrifying. It's hard to imagine this place being conducive to anyone's mental health. It all depends on how we look at things.
What can I do for you?
Oh, he thinks he's a doctor, clearly. I mean, this place isn't as bad as it could be.
Seems that Bethany had a thing for mirrors. You know anything about that?
Oh, yes. Poor soul. She was convinced there was a boy called Hammond living in her mirrors. She talked to him every day.
I see. Bye.
There we go. That's all the evidence we needed. Now, as for Randall Glassworks, we'd have to visit City Hall for that. But that's gonna wait until next time. I think here is a good place to put it on a pause. So, I'm gonna save, and I'm going to say, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and that you're looking forward to next time. Ciao! Pretty sure I had shit.